Hey, John Norrell here, the Crafty Tech Guy. So we're going to finish up this wreath. This was a partnership that I had with Trendy Tree, and we did the first part the other night on a live. So if you scroll back down their Facebook feed, you'll find the first part of this. So we did the initial parts of the base, and we went a little further with the sign and the bow, and I showed where I was going to put a pick, but I took those off so that I could put the rest of the curls in and get the wreath to where the base of it where I really wanted it before we put all of the goodies on top. So this is a 15-inch elevated work form. It has black ties, and the poofs is a 21-inch mesh. So it's just a white plain 21-inch mesh, and I did 12-inch poofs all around the top and all around the bottom layer. I also did curls. So the way I do curls is I take a 10-inch piece of mesh. So I'm just gonna show you all real quick because I've already made the curls for this project. But let's square this one little piece off here. All right. I think I used that for your phone. Makes a good holder. So 36 to 26. All right, so you take a 10-inch piece of mesh, and I use a Bodabra. Where is my Bodabra? I was just using it. There it is. So I use a Bodabra. I don't really make bows with this, but I use it as like another set of hands. So I take this 10-inch piece of mesh, and I just roll it up like taquito or just a little small roll. So once you're done, it's going to look like this. So this is just a 10-inch piece of mesh. Cut it 10 inches a curl. So I always have an order to my curls. So I determine based upon the way I want the curls to look, the order of my curls. Because my curls right now are three different meshes. And I wanted the black on the bottom, the black and yellow on the bottom, the solid yellow in the center, and then the black and yellow on top. That's the look that I want. You can change up the look of this wreath or look of this design just by changing up the order of your curls. So I take the one curl, I put it there in the Bodabra, and then I add the second curl. So the bottom layer of the bundle, the middle layer of the bundle, and then the top layer of the bundle. And then I take all three, put them together. I use these little clips. These clips came from the Dollar Tree. These metal pans came from the Dollar Tree. So first I cut all of my mesh, and then I roll them all together, put them in the Bodabra, and make these little bundles, and I just store them in this metal pan until I'm ready to actually put them into the wreath. So I've already got 16 of the bundles. Put that down there. Put into the wreath. So I'm just going to show y'all how I put the other two in. So the ones on the top I put in vertically. So my top curls I put in vertically. The bottom curls I put in horizontally. So I'm just going to go here to this bottom layer. I'm going to open up that tie. I'm going to take this little bundle, press it all the way down to that metal ring. Bring my two ties around. And this part I'm going to have to just kind of do. So I'm just bringing my two ties around, and I'm tying those curls in really tight. Because what I want them to do is kind of pucker up, and it gives you that wonderful little whimsy look. You know, and it's going to continue to make this amazing full wreath. So I'm going to put in my last curl here. Let me find my tie. At least I think I am. I already got them all in. This is where you check to make sure you haven't missed a tie. It's possible that I cut too many bundles. Yeah, so I just have an extra bundle. So, all right, so now all of our, which is fine, I'll save this and use it on a future bee wreath. So this is a bee wreath for Miss Ashley. So that is the theme because she is the queen bee there at Trendy Tree. So let's go ahead and put on our sign and our bow. I made the bow last time. So here is our sign. So our sign says Queen Bee, because again, Miss Ashley is the Queen Bee there at Trendy Tree. And this is actually going to go behind her desk there. And this is the bow that we made the other night. So I didn't have time to finish the wreath on the live the other night because I had to get to my coaching group. So I am a tech coach in Julie Samaka's business. Okay, so if you heard my dogs, sorry about that. Right now my husband is outside working in the garage, and I'm down here in the basement, and they're not happy that no one's up there paying attention to them. So, and I don't bring them down here to the basement, just, you know, I don't want pets around my wreaths and so forth. So, all right, so I'm just attaching this sign. So I will have, in the last live, in the comments, there are different SKU numbers, and I'll try to put as many SKU numbers as I can in the description of this post so that y'all can search and find the stuff that I'm using for this wreath. Most of it came from Trendy Tree. Some of it is just out of my personal stash, but some of the stuff in my personal stash, they actually have there at Trendy Tree. So if you're watching this before I think it ends the 16th. So if you're watching it before then, right now Trendy Tree is having a 35% off sale. So make sure you take advantage of that on their site. Just search Bee, and all their Bee stuff will come up that they have in inventory, and you can order away and get some really cute Bee stuff and make some beautiful Bee wreaths. I don't know about y'all, but I am selling Bee stuff like crazy. So take advantage of this 35% off while you can. I need to tighten this end up. So when you're doing your twist ties, y'all, always twist your ties like you would tightening and loosening a screw. Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey. That way you always know you've twisted your tie to the right to tighten your sign or bow or attachment. And then if you need to get in there and rework on it, then you just reverse it. But if you're consistent with it, it makes it a lot easier. So there's our Queen Bee sign. I'm going to hold off on the bow so the bow doesn't get all wonky. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my ribbon tails. So I'm using 2.5 inch. You don't always have to use a 1.5 inch and a 2.5 inch for your ribbon tails. I'm using 2.5 inches. And I like to put whatever ribbon that is my favorite, I put it on top. So I think this buffalo check Bee ribbon on top of the black and yellow Swiss dot gives it the best effect for me. And again, I'm just pulling out colors in my sign there. So I like to go ahead and fold and make these little ribbon packets, bundles or whatever, before I turn them into ribbon tails. Because I think this, when you do this crease here and then you scrunch it up to put the ribbon tails in, I just think it has a much bigger pop. I think the ribbon just stands at attention better. So all I'm doing is just scrunching that up in the center. I kind of bended it a little bit, and I'm just going to go in here to my ties and put in these ribbon tails. So if you watch the last video, I used a different ribbon for the ribbon tails, and you know, I've slept since that last video, and when I came back to finish this wreath, I changed it up, which is, you know, if you watch any of my TikTok lives, you know, I can be halfway through a wreath and change my mind. Or I can be halfway through a wreath and decide that whatever design I was going for, I did not like. And then just completely put that wreath to the side, because that means I'm going to take it apart because I'm not happy with it, and start over. And then just start a whole new wreath. So if I'm not happy with whatever it is I'm making, I just stop. I don't continue on. You know, whatever supplies I can reuse, absolutely. But, if, like I was doing a watermelon wreath while I was traveling to General Wholesale and my little trip to Trendy Tree. I was in the hotel room and I was doing a watermelon wreath. Well, I didn't, I knew when I was putting the mesh that I was using for the poofs, I knew at that time I was not happy with it, but I just kept on. I was tired and I should have just stopped the insanity as soon as I realized it, but I didn't. So I continued on, and the mesh that I chose for the poofs was a really thick fabric mesh. Well, y'all, I'm still new at this in the sense I've only been making wreaths for about 13 months. So I didn't think enough ahead of time that thick mesh was not gonna make the best poofs. So just get these out of the way of the sign so you can see the sign. All right. But I went ahead and I put that thick mesh all the way around the top and the bottom with poofs. I thought, well, once I get my hand in there and work with it, it'll poof up. Yeah, it didn't. Well, then what I chose to do my ruffles to put into the wreath was almost like a value mesh. It did not make good ruffles. So I wasn't happy with any of it. So I still have that base to take apart and redo. Although everyone seems to like it. I mean, and the more I look at it, it is growing on me. So it's not as bad as I thought it was that night. So who knows? I may just work on it and turn that base into a watermelon wreath too. You just never know with me. So I'm just putting these ties. I'm putting these tails into each tie. And then I'm just, crisscrossing them. Separating them to where the bee patterns are across from each other and the Swiss dot is across from each other. So making a star pattern where they're separated out and they make this really pretty star look. And those ribbon tails are standing up tall. I've also got some picks that we're going to put in this wreath from Trendy Tree. Some of them I'm going to use are from Trendy Tree. Some are just from my personal stash. But you can obviously search and find if Trendy Tree doesn't have it in inventory. Because I'm sure a lot of the bee stuff sold from our first video the other night. And with this 35% off sale. So some of it they could have had in stock Thursday night, but have since sold out of it. All right, so we got our ribbon tails on the top layer. I'm going to go down here to the bottom layer. So if you're watching this and you're still at this point, comment below in the comments and tell me, what kind of bee themed wreaths you like to make. All right, sorry about that, y'all. My husband did not know that I was recording. I was coming down the stairs and I was trying to, get him to read my lips that I'm recording, but that did not work out that well. So I'm just finishing the ribbon tails along the bottom. I have 2 more. So I think I was telling y'all about that watermelon wreath. It's been, we had a break in my train of thinking, so I don't remember exactly where we were. But, yeah, so I'll maybe take the other base and turn it into a watermelon wreath. All right, 1 more set of ribbon tails. And then we're going to put our bow on. Oh yeah, I think I was telling y'all, comment in the comments and let me know, do you like the bee theme? Do you make a lot of bee wreaths? Do you sell a lot of bee wreaths? Talk to us and let us know kind of what your thoughts are on the bee theme. Do you like whimsical bee stuff? I think I'm going to put another pipe cleaner. I'm not liking how this sign is not staying where I want it to stay, so that's why I put extra cable mounts on the sign so that I could come back in and then another Chanel stem, because this one's an oblong, and so sometimes they don't like to stay put where you want them. So it's good to have those extra cable mounts on there just to keep the sign exactly where you want it. And it helps when you get one pipe cleaner on one side of a rail and one on the other, instead of both pipe cleaners in between the two rails. Doesn't do much good. All I'm doing is just twisting these Chanel stems or pipe cleaners underneath. Oh, I was going to tell y'all, Trinity has 20-inch pipe cleaners. So this is what a 20-inch pipe cleaner looks like. And if you're not using 20-inch pipe cleaners, oh my gosh, these are amazing. You can cut them in half if this is too long. But this longer look, or this longer Chanel stem, works out so much better when attaching things to a wreath. Sorry, y'all. Sometimes my ability to think and talk at the same time does not work very well. I don't work with these wood signs a lot. I make my own signs. So I use mostly metal signs. So, you know, always learning new techniques. I don't know about y'all, but the sign's always the hardest thing to get attached. When I was first making wreaths and going live on Facebook, that was always the joke. Oh gosh, John's putting on the sign. Brace yourselves, we're gonna be here for like, 6 hours. And sometimes I would be on a live and I would just fake put the sign on because I would be so frustrated and sweating, and I'm just like, you know what, this sign can go on later. But for the live, it looks like it's attached, and that's what matters. All right, so there we go. There is our sign. Let's get our beautiful bow on. I'm also used to being on TikTok, and on TikTok we're allowed to have music, whereas on everywhere else you can't have music. Or I think you can, it just has to be a certain kind of music, and I haven't done my research in order to, because I would have anything playing, it doesn't bother me. But just have something playing in the background. Alright, just tie my bow on. Alright. Let's take a look at it. Side and bow look good. Just need to tighten this bow down some more. So again, since I know that I did righty-tighty, I'm just going to do lefty-loosey. Undo the Chanel stem. That's better. All right, so we're gonna put some picks in here. So I'm gonna use some of these ball picks. I'm not sure if Trendy Tree has them in stock or not, but I will include a SKU number so y'all can hopefully go find some. I'm gonna include SKU numbers for these picks because I know they have these in stock. So we're gonna use some of these in our bow. To just add some more fun and whimsy. Sometimes these look a little hard to get in, or in terms of attaching. So what I like to do is take 3 of them together and zip tie them. You could also use floral tape. I do have some floral tape over there, but I have found that these small zip ties work great to create a thicker stem. And it's going to be hidden down inside the bow anyway. Just snip those off. Add some glue. And then come over here into the bow and add some fun. That's a little too long. Snip that off. So yeah, I'm just putting that in, having it touch that Chanel stem so we can add some fun and some whimsy into the bow. So we have another set of these here. And you can adjust these on the stick. All right, I'm gonna build another little bundle. So many different ways to. All right, y'all. So I finished doing my little lifesaver looking picks. I got them into the bow exactly where I wanted them. So now I'm going to find these ties here on the top row. And I'm going to take these picks. And I already had some that I've used, but Trendy Tree has these. And we'll have the SKU in the... I'll put the SKU in the description. So I'm going to take one of these balls. Take the ball off. And then I'm going to take the bee, that little end of this nub there in the bee, stick it into the ball, and it looks like the bee is flying. I don't think Trendy Tree has these balls right now, but you can find them at other places. But I wanted to get, this is how I like to put the bees on these type wreaths. I just think it adds so much whimsy and fun. And then we are going to use these little fun embellishments elsewhere in the wreath. So you got the queen bee sign there, and then these are like all the little worker bees there at Trendy Tree. Cut off another one. And of course, you definitely could use these in different ways. So there in the comments, tell us how you would use these bees. Just hold that on there real quick. I like to attach things like these to the center ties. That way it grips good on those, I guess, pine ties? Pencil ties? Then we'll put a couple up here, pointing downwards. Thinking a little hot glue there. I want to shorten this, so what I'm going to do is just put a zip tie around it to hold all those in, because some of them start down here at the bottom. So always just kind of play around and just kind of see. I don't know. I don't think those really match very well. And I guess I could put some of those into the bow. But I don't want my bow to be overkill. A lifesaver fell off, so we're just gonna put a little hot glue there. Put it back on. There we go. Yeah, that looks cute. I like that. If we add a little over here, want to put, well, maybe a curly Cuban. Put a bee there. There's that. Let's put a little bit more of this whimsy in here. Get a zip tie, tie this off. I don't want them sticking out too crazily. I like this layer of whimsy into the design. Let's get one more. I like to do things in threes. I'm sure y'all do too. Shorten this all up. Get me a zip tie. Do y'all go through as many zip ties as I do in a project? Probably not. Put that on backwards. I like to make things do what I want them to do. Put another one on there just for good measure. Wrong size. So hopefully you'll, look at this design and like, oh, that's something I want to try in my arsenal of recipes. It's not a hard recipe to follow, or at least I don't think it is. Just some .21" mesh, some curls. All right, y'all. I think that's going to be a wrap. Let me come back over here to this. I don't think I can edit that. Or maybe I can. Let's see here. I'm still recording. All right, there we go. So there we go. Here is Miss Ashley's Queen Bee Wreath. Let me get it positioned correctly. It's hard to do this in front of this camera. So, all right, y'all. Thank y'all for joining me. I appreciate it. Again, I'm John, the Crafty Tech Guy. A little bit tech, a little bit craft. If you want to follow me, you can go over to my TikTok at the Crafty Tech Guy on TikTok. My website, if you need any help with technology in your business, you can go to thecraftytechguy.com. Or if you want to see all the things about the Crafty Tech Guy, just go to linksbyjohn.com. All right. Thank y'all. Until next time, I hope y'all have a wonderful Saturday. All right. Bye, y'all.